The anomaly continues, and this time both studies begin with 12:12. Revelation 12:12 through verse 17, and Matthew 12:12 through verse 23. So verses 12 through 23, verses 12 through 17. That's just blowing my mind because these did not start at the same time. And it's now been doing this for, I think, a solid week. I think this began at last Sunday's study, where it was last Monday's study, and today is Sunday's study. So it's been a full 7 days. And Matthew, though, as we begin Revelation 13 tomorrow, Matthew stays at 12. So it will end. So it was a perfect 7 days, and 12 is a number for the church, and 7 is a number for cleansing. Yikes. It's a little freaky. Is the book of Revelation about to be opened tomorrow? Certainly not a high watch day. It is 2/19 when I'm making this. February 20th is a high watch day for me, but especially February 22nd is much bigger. But yeah, Matthew 10 was in Monday study last week, and Revelation 10 was in the study, and it just continued all the way through. Matthew 10, Revelation 10 there. Matthew 11, Revelation 11 there. Matthew 11, Revelation 11 there. Then Friday study, Matthew 11, Revelation 11. And then Saturday study, Matthew 12, Revelation 12. And here it is again. And this time, they both begin with 12, 12. 12 is number for the church, so it's like 144 and another 144. It's kind of freaky. Talk about personal ciphers. Wow. Right? So a very telling time for sure. So let's start off. Matthew 12:12. How much then is man better than a sheep? Wherefore is it lawful to do well on the Sabbath days? Then saith he to the man, stretch, and see what this is about is the man-made items, what they call the oral. Jesus did not like the oral law. Jesus' opinion of oral Torah. The conventional interpretation of Jesus is that he believed in the written Torah, but not the oral Torah. See, man came along and added to the 613 laws of Moses, and they started adding their own items in there because they didn't want anybody to transgress the law. So they went around nitpicking, don't even do this. Don't even do that on the Sabbath. Well, don't even do, so I'm not an expert in all of that, but that's the gist of it. If you just want to know the gist of it. And remember, Jesus is starting to transform the Sabbath into himself anyway, because he is now our Sabbath rest. We don't have to keep the Sabbath anymore. Then saith he to the man, stretch forth thine hand. And he stretched it forth, and it was restored whole, like as the other hand. Then the Pharisees went out and held counsel against him, how they might destroy him, which means, of course, to kill him. And remember, that's how you know hell is not eternal torment, because Jesus said, fear him, which can destroy both body and soul. In hell, hell is the grave. The lake of fire is where the fire is. Death and hell, or death and the grave, which just means the dead person is then thrown into the lake of fire, kind of like a cremation process that we do today. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself from thence, and a great multitudes followed him, and he healed them all. So in other words, the sheep just followed him because they had gotten the spiritual calling, didn't they? Right in their gut to know who he was. Not from any intelligence. These were poor people. These were poor in spirit, poor in money. And that's who Jesus, and that's, again, these are parallels for what he does for us today. He, because we're poor in spirit. But when Jesus knew it, he withdrew himself, already read that, and charged them that they should not make him known, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by Esaias the prophet, saying, Behold, my servant, whom I have chosen, my beloved, in whom my soul is well pleased. I will put my spirit upon him, and he shall show judgment to the Gentiles. He shall not strive nor cry, neither shall any man hear his voice in the streets. A bruised reed shall he not break, and smoking flax shall he not quench, till he send forth judgment unto victory. And in his name shall the Gentiles trust. So, of course, we know that in the new covenant, all flesh shall be saved, not all people of the earth, but all types of flesh. It's no longer about a Hebrew bloodline. We're still considered Jews or Israel because we are grafted in Jews or grafted in to the vine of Israel, which simply means the church. It's not about the bloodline anymore. Then was now Jesus does bring his remnant of the bloodline to Christ after the last non-bloodline member gets the call at the abomination of desolation. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil. Again, he cast out our devils today, right? Comma, blind, and we're blind to the truth, and dumb. We do not speak the truth until we get the call, and healed him. And that's what he does. He heals our spirit, our soul. Insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. So these are separate people, if I didn't read that properly. Then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. Sorry, it was one person. It's a he, not they. Okay. And all the people were amazed and said, Is not this the son of David? In other words, the Messiah. All right, now Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he know that he hath but a short time. Not exactly sure what this exact time frame is when this is taking place. I feel like it's at the time of the abomination of desolation. It might be when the four horses begin, when we're living in the book of Revelation in real time. When the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman, the church, which brought forth the man-child. And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she fly into the wilderness, into her place, where I believe that is the final 144,000 people that are sheep on the earth, that God puts an end to the great tribulation, lest no flesh would be saved. And the number that he spares from the great tribulation is 144,000. They are not killed by the demonic entity humans that now have superpowers on the earth because they're possessed. So you remember Reagan and how powerful she was in The Exorcist, or the movie Venom, when they are entered by the entity and basically possessed. They use the human body as an avatar. The human host eventually dies off, just like Reagan was dying, and they all died in the movie Venom, except for the star of the movie that Venom kept alive because he liked him. But they were called symbiotes. They were symbiotic relationships, and the human host died off, and the entities in the movie Venom kept the body alive. And that's why those that receive the mark get torment day and night forever and ever, because it's the fallen angels that now have the body that get eternal torment day and night forever and ever. The only other time eternal torment day and night forever and ever is mentioned is the beast, the false prophet, and Satan. Again, all three are now fallen angels, as the Antichrist will become possessed by Satan. And maybe Satan keeps him alive in the body until the very end. Kind of like a duality situation. Heisman Trophy. Heisman is spelled nothing more than he is man. Who is man? The Antichrist. Satan is now man in the body of the Antichrist. It's a total human body possession. That's what the mark of the beast is. It's a spiritual mark, along with potentially a mark rising on the hand and forehead. The serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away by a flood. And we know at the end of the book of Revelation, there's also a flood. So this is covering the birth of Jesus all the way through to the Great Tribulation. This is figurative language here in Revelation 12. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which, of course, I believe is talking specifically about the Hebrew bloodline. And it might be just the Hebrew bloodline that are part of the 140, or that are the 144,000. And the Lord has all non-sheep destroyed or murdered or beheaded by those with the superpowers. That's what superhero movies are about. It's all about, or Iron Man, it's the iron mixing with clay. It says literally in Daniel 2:41 through 43, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of man. And that is because it is total human body possession, which keepeth the commandments of God and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. All right. That is it. I'm glad you're here. I love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.